If you want to get an interview call for your internship, here are the three things you're gonna need. Number one is resume, your LinkedIn profile, solid portfolio. In this video, Kshitij and I actually explain you every single detail you will need to build these three things. And trust me, if you watch the entire video and implement every single thing we have said, whether it is your resume, whether it's your LinkedIn profile, website, what you need to put in the website, how to pitch yourself, your projects, how to demonstrate your resume, LinkedIn, and all of that. If you do it, you will start getting interview calls for your internship or your for full-time job. Please watch entire video. Timestamps are right here, and let me know after watching it if you got the interview calls. Let's go.
Sure. So I go to ASU, Arizona State University. I got here in fall 2022. I did my bachelor's. I'm a 2018 to 2022 batch. So just after completing my bachelor's from VIT Vellore, I came to ASU directly. In the meanwhile, I have done a few internships here and there, but mainly I've started fall 2022 and I've been going on from there.
And currently, you are so is it SDE intern?
Yes, so it is a software engineer of factory systems. I actually work at the Rivian plant in Normal, Illinois, and I get to see all the cool stuff. The level of
Nice.
engineering in the plant blows my mind every single day.
I want to talk about like you landed in United States. When did you land? Roughly August, July?
Y- I landed in 14th August, if I remember correctly.
Nice. Okay, I was 5th August. So cool. You landed 14th August. When did you start thinking about like your job search or internship search? What was your strategy? What was like the first thing you're like, all right, I am going to start applying, or I need to figure out how to apply? Like, what was the first step?
That's a great question, and that is where I give, I can throw some light on your channel because I've been watching it for a while, and I knew you have suggested it a million times now that we should start right even when you're in India. You should already start your process. You shouldn't wait till 6 months into US. You shouldn't then start working towards your internship. So back in India, I had some ideas in mind. I wanted to be sure that I'll fix up my resume, I'll create a portfolio website, I'll fix up my LinkedIn, I'll have a good GitHub account, I'll make some projects. So I started that process somewhere around last year of my bachelor's.
Oh wow, nice. Okay. I love it. And yes, that's what I say, that job search doesn't start when you land or after 2 months or after 6 months. It start even before you land or as soon as you land. So amazing that you done it before 6 months. That's like crazy for me, like to boggle, keep my mind. I was like, you're already preparing so far in advance. Since you already talked about it, like let's go through what are the things you were like working on before you came to United States, and then how did you pivoted when you landed, and what did you start working on after you landed?
Sure. So before I get into the crispy stuff, I wanted to make a point here that um, there is a whole there are a lot of people who are coming abroad right now, and it's like in huge numbers. And there are a few questions everyone should ask themselves before they make a decision of coming here, which is that I think coming to US and then starting to experiment, trying to find out what you want to do, what
Mm,
job role you want, what kind of, if you're completely blank, then stay a while, work in India, do some internships where you want to explore your interest. But once you are solid on those points, I would say then take this leap here, because
yeah.
living here is very expensive. Every day of not getting a job is a add on to your stress. So I would say, like, have a clear plan before coming here. Ask yourself what you want, and that this ties in quite well with the fact that you can start early, you can plan ahead, you can have a clear vision with what you want to do ahead. So
Yeah, and I'll add and 100% double down on this because I just recently did a meetup, and a lot of time when I ask them like, "What's the career goal? What's the career role you? What's the target job role you want to do?" And they don't have a clear answer. They say something in tech, something in management, like or combination of both. that's like a very vague idea of what you want to do. And I would rather have you come and tell me that I want to do business analyst, product manager, program manager, risk analyst, whatever that position is, but like have that clear role in your mind. And that clarity will only come once you have started digging deeper into yourself and what the market offers. And if you don't know, then yeah, get an experience so you understand the industry, so you know this is the right thing for me and that's why I need to do it. So I love that you mentioned it. And obviously it seems that you are very very clear that you love programming and that's where you want to get into. And so I'm excited to explore that part of it.
Right. And then I'll get to the second part of question, which was what all did I do? And then what pivot or what extra things that I did when I got to the US. So to start with, I think, I would want to start with my GitHub account. I think,
Nice.
and this talk might be exclusively become more exclusive for software people. But the thing is that if you are a designer, then have a Dribble account or a Unsplash or whatever the concerned website is. But
Yeah. Yeah.
the the whole point here is to display your skills on a platform where people can actually see them. And
And I'll say, and I agree 100%. And I'll say, even if you're like a product manager, business analyst watching this, take inspiration and how you can apply this to your particular field, because product managers can have like roadmaps and like designs and use cases. Designers can have that. Project managers can have, like, again, lots of things. So what I feel like summarizing to things you've done is like, portfolio building, profile building, resume, and that's what we're gonna now see what you've done. So let's go.
sure. So this is my GitHub. It's basically a showcase of all the projects that I did. So, and these are the very projects that I speak the most about in every interview. And whenever during an interview they want to see, so talk is cheap, right? When you talk, if you back it up with some sort of proof, however subtle it may be, then that's how you build the
Hmm.
trust in a conversation, and that's how you can win over an interview and be the right person they want to hire. So
Yeah, they say in storytelling as well, that because all interviews are storytelling, it's not about telling, it's more about showing. So this is like when you tell, show them, which is amazing.
and all these projects I did in the last year of my bachelor's. So I had, during the last 6 months before I was coming here, what I did was I made sure I hosted all of them. Even if it cost me some money, I put in that money, even though it didn't. But if even if it costs you some money to host these things so that you can actually show them what you worked on, it's gonna be immensely helpful. So just go for it. That would be my greatest
Hmm.
advice.
Hmm.
And just speaking of software projects, having a good readme, you know showing people how you can actually, other people can use your projects, it shows a lot of things, lot of software qualities that software engineers are, the senior software engineers are looking for in general. So having a good, documentation about your project,
Yeah,
hosting it.
and I don't know, like it's also shows your, so I think you've done it very sneakily. You've also showed your personality. If you scroll down, it says built with a lot of love and a little JavaScript. So it's like very quirky, right? So
Mhm.
it's like shows who you are as a person and not just the code. So again, your opportunity to yeah, like display yourself, who you are as a person, and again become my distraction, social media. It's like it's very very quirky. So this is awesome, man. This is, yeah, this is, love it. I love this.
So like, I can show you another GitHub project which is my own portfolio. uh, and I want to segue into my portfolio website now, which is.
Wait, and wait, just a quick before we get into your website, how did you think about these ideas? So like a lot of time people will, like, I'll say them that you should work on your portfolio. So how did you think about these, like, okay, I should make this app or I should make this project? what was your inspiration, and then how did you like execute them?
That's a great question. And I'm a big believer of solving problems that you see around yourself. Because A, you will learn in the process of solving the problem. B, you will help people. C, it will become a talking point for the rest of your life. So
Hmm.
I want to take a minute here and actually dive into one of the projects that I did. And
Yeah.
I will actually even tell you the story that I speak in the interviews. And they've asked me hundreds of times the same question, and I've used the same story with little twists here and there, and it has worked every time. So what they always ask you about what project you did, or what is the one technical problem that you solved. Similar questions, same shaped differently.
Yeah.
So my response to those type of questions is generally what I'm going to say next. So I start with saying that I back during my bachelor's, COVID-19 happened and everything went online. It was an unprecedented situation for my country. Pe- The whole education system was online for the first time, so there was a lot of loopholes, lot of
Mm.
cracks that had to be filled in. So one of the biggest things I would find in the Reddit and Discord channels of my university was that people would post that they're feeling lonely, they're not able to make friends. Because when I joined college, I shared my room with three other people, and I automatically made friends because I had to share a space with them, and I would speak with them, and I would hang out and see people around me. I would automatically make friends. But when they enrolled new students, they never met each other, and they just monotonously joined Zoom links and Zoom chat rooms and then left after the class. So there was no interaction. So I would often find people posting that they're not lonely, that they had high expectations for their college life, but they're not able to make friends. So then it clicked me that what can I do to solve this problem? So I came up with this website called Amigos, and I called it Amigos. I'll tell you why that later. But all it does is, it is a very simple concept. I'm putting in my uh, roll number that I still remember from my bachelor,
Nice.
and when I just click pair, it will put me in a video chat room with
Mm.
some random person who is online with me right now. So everyone from my university would come on this website, and then they would get paired to each other, and they'll made a lot of friendships. And I would see people posting and
Ah.
sending their own links on
Mm.
WhatsApp groups and trying to, they made. That's why I called it Amigos. I hope that makes sense now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah.
And so and this is obviously restricted to your specific university. So I could actually have my university and put my roll number. They would put their roll number, and it would make me meet with anyone who's in my college.
Yeah, and I did get a LinkedIn message recently that someone, it is an open source project, so you can copy it if you want right now and do it for your university. So
Nice.
someone did message me and they wanted to do their own for their own university, and I said, yeah, have my blessing, go ahead.
Nice. That's awesome. Love it. Yeah. Yeah. So this is so good. Let's dive into your portfolio.
So just
Before that, one other thing for all the software engineers. This is again, if you came to my meetup, I've said this many times that having GitHub profile is like so good for you because it shows your coding practices, how you are as a coder. Like, do you practice commenting, and do you like do documentation? Like, I was a manager for 7 engineers or software engineers, and so I had to do all of this. I hired engineers. So when I see something like this, and if Kshitij would have sent me like a LinkedIn message or something that, hey, here's my profile, I would have immediately called him and said like, I want to hire you, or at least I would definitely give him a much more priority that let's talk, because I want to see, because this already gives me a lot more impressions of, one, he's a good engineer, he's gonna like get stuff done, things like that.
I just wanted to add a few points here that, see, I gave you a whole story around my project, which had some moral values. I helped people used my product. I was able to deliver a product, host it, and give it to the users, have that outreach to the users. So without even verbally saying it, it portrays all sorts of abilities that they're looking for in a software guy. So I think this is the best way forward. And you actually learn. If I never made this project, I wouldn't know what JavaScript is, how to host a website, how to, you know, use some API to do video conferencing. I took that step. I figured out a problem around me, and then I solved it. And it's been paying me dividends ever since I made it. And
Nice.
so will it for you if you do something similar.
Hmm.
And this talking point is what gives me confidence, right? I've seen like hundreds of students not being confident, being scared before the interviews. A little bit of
Hmm.
scare is fine, but I've seen people being nerve wracked, being sweating, and being absolutely scared to the core. And I feel that is largely because they have they're lacking in the skill part of it. And I
Hmm.
think all these tips I've seen, I've Yudi's channel has 10,000 videos or hundreds of videos on YouTube. Everyone can give you advice, but in the end, if you use that advice to implement something, that's how you're going to get confident, and that confident is going to take you places. So
Nice.
that's what I
Yeah.
want to say here.
Yeah. Let's take a look at your portfolio. I'm excited to see this.
Okay, yeah. So portfolio, I think it's another very important thing. I hosted it on GitHub pages, and this I hosted all my projects on Heroku. There are some other Heroku is now paid, but there are other free options like Render, and then I think I have it written down somewhere here. Yeah, Render and Vercel is another good option. So you can do all of this for free. Not a
Hmm.
single penny is needed here. And
Hmm.
and another good point that I have here is you don't even have to code all of this from scratch. There are literally uh, template websites that you can create, which you can just download this right here, and this will give you a whole free website, and then you just change your name and do whatever you want. I literally gifted a portfolio website to one of my friends for his birthday because it was so easy to do. I just changed the names and that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's unbelievable the effort it takes to make, but the return it's going to give you on that effort. So, yeah, every single person who's watching this should make a website. And I know the next follow up question is, what am I going to put on my website? So let's see.
That's a great question. So,
Yeah.
so I start with simply again giving you a splash of my personality. I hope you got a good gauge on it by now. And
Yeah.
then straight away for a software guy, his projects are the main thing that speaks volumes about him. So I have my projects hosted here, and another funky project that I have on here is something I made for my girlfriend, and she would always complain that you don't send me good night and good morning messages. So all I did is I sort of automated that process, and if I put in my email, um, it will it will if I put in yeah, good night or good morning, it will just send me that message. I sort of have stopped maintaining it now, but this is what is it is supposed to do, and it did for a while. But yeah, see the problems around you, build up a small solution, and it will give you a lot of talking point, right?
Nice.
So in my
Yeah.
portfolio, I have these projects which I'm hosting, and then about more than my projects, who I am as a person. I help people. I do some sort of exercise, and this is how to connect to me, my social handles. And lastly, these are all my projects here hosted. These are the research work I have done. These are my coding platform,
Mm.
Code Chef, GitHub, Stack Overflow, Lead Code, and these are my achievements, which are not important. WorkX, stuff like that. Just, a place
Mm.
where it's a showcase, it's a showroom for your abilities. And this is how you can take an edge and impress people.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, no, this is awesome, man. I think again, short, sweet, talks about who you are, talks about what you have done so far. Online presence. Again, think about like from hiring manager perspective. Does he have the credibility of what he's saying? Yes, he does. Go to the website, go to the project is clickable to the GitHub, go to the code, it's there, it's working, plus all the projects are hosted, it's in the working state. There's a lot more credibility than just putting it on your resume and hoping that hiring manager gets convinced.
Exactly. That's exactly what I wanted to say, and you've put it in the perfect
Nice.
words.
Cool. So obviously you worked on GitHub, you worked on your website. Was there anything else did you work on?
I would say LinkedIn is the third pillar, which I would want to talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is just the right tool. Just use it. You will literally thank yourself. I have seen like hundreds of people have very dull profiles. And one
Mm,
of the biggest things, whenever I see someone not having a banner, I immediately feel that they're not active enough, or they don't, care enough for their
yeah. Yeah.
professional
Mm,
presence on the internet,
yeah.
right? So get a banner right off the bat, make something, no matter how, whatever, you can literally reuse. There are hundreds of banners online. If you search, just
Mm,
put up anything, but at least have something there. That's the number one pointer which I've generally seen people miss.
mm,
So, but I took an extra effort and made it on my own. I spent a couple of hours on this, and
yeah.
yeah. And then going on, generally what I see is it feels sort of empty, right? Fill it up, have your resume on here, have your portfolio website link, have your contact information, have your whatever experience you've done. So this is the most proudest achievement of my life. And I say so because I was part of a student community back in my college. There are
Mm,
clubs and chapters, so I was
yes.
part of one. And if someone with a cynical uh, site on my profile would say, this doesn't need to be on here, it is just another club out of hundreds of clubs in the world. But if you fill it up, if you take pride in whatever work you have done and you showcase it with love and affection on LinkedIn, people will care about it and it will look good on your profile. So
And yes, I mean, let me just double down on this 100%. I did masters in computer science, moved from computer science to project management, product management. Everyone told me it's impossible, you are not going to get it. And I'm like, well, let's see. I was the president of Indian Student Association in United States, and then I was also president of another club, and then I did like a lot of other like events and clubs and all of that. I put all of that in there, and that boosted my profile that I do have coordination skill, I do have leadership skills, I do, because it's the skills which you are trying to show, not necessarily like, oh yeah, I was the president of the club, right? So
yeah.
100%, if like, yeah, put it, even if you might think that this, like, people are gonna laugh at me or something, like, don't hesitate. As long as you can speak to what this helped you and how it helped you, you should be able, like, you should put it. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I've seen people like, it's not Google, it's not Microsoft. It doesn't matter. If you
Yeah.
worked, if you had an impact, no matter how big or small, it's worth putting up there. So the point is, fill it up. These are my internships.
And also, for those of you who don't know, LinkedIn is a third, I think it's the third largest search based platform. So don't quote me on that, but it is a search based platform. So if a hiring manager or a recruiter is typing something, I want a software engineer with leadership skill, like, this is, it's going to go through the profile and search it. And if you have put it, like, if you can like expand, can you expand your precedent, where it says see more, yeah. So again, you can see led a team of 50 people and teamwork, like, it shows that teamwork, it shows networking, it shows, and the skills, obviously it has machine learning, mobile application, web. So it has a combination of skills, and it, his profile will show up on the recruiter side, because it's, again, they are looking for profiles when they want to reach out to people. So Yeah, so it's not just to show, but it's also used as a search based platform.
100%. And then, like, put in your education, put in your certificates. I put in my projects, my research papers, whatever I've done. So I think amigos, see, it's again here. I use the same thing everywhere because I love to show what I have done. But
Hmm.
yeah, I have like six other projects. Fill it up, make it look lively, make it look like something. And yeah, this is the recommendation section. I worked with a lot of students in college, so they sort of recommended me, which I am very grateful for. And
Hmm.
this all this I started doing in India. If you start doing it today, it will take some time. It's not a one day thing. So you need to be mindful, start putting
Hmm.
out some things on the internet. Your internet presence is really important. So
Hmm.
publications, all of this, just show what you are on the
Yeah,
internet.
yeah,
That's all I
yeah.
have to say.
And again, this is a credibility which again is not just a talk. He's a there's a proof. So yeah, I love it. I 100% love it. And you have a lot of featured content, which is again, you are using. A lot of people don't use this thing, which I don't understand. The link which you have
Yeah.
been given, the URL, like if you go on the top, you have that, it's a dedicated link given to you. It's the most visible area in your profile. So uh, make sure that you use it. Like people are going to click on it, and obviously it's going to take you to, I am assuming it's going to take you
Yep.
to website. So yeah, I see my assumption again, like hiring manager, I've done this so many times. So yeah, so and the headline itself, a lot of time I've just seen incoming fall student at ASU. Like you have not mentioned that. You've mentioned what is it that you want to do. Software developer, let me help you build tomorrow. Impact statement, a role you want to target, and what you're currently doing. Amazing. I like, it's a 5-star profile.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Uh,
So, and again, I'm not saying this to like because he's a guest on the podcast, and like, I'm not just trying to boast him. Like in general, like I think if you do these things, you're like, you are so much ahead of a lot of other people. So yeah.
I think it's a good segue into, the pointers where we pointed out certain things on LinkedIn. There are a lot of pointers that you can also make on resumes and improve it a lot. So I spent some time watching YouTube channels. I made some notes, and I'm going to share a lot of those today with you guys because I've seen people not talk about all of these things at all. And I'm going to take points from here and exactly point out whatever I did.
Yeah, and again, what he's using is a different document we are referring to, because that's where the notes are. I'll share the document with everyone as well. So one, you have the resume. Obviously, you'll have the document as well. So yeah.
Sure. So I want to start with having these all these skills, and how do you choose these things? So
And sorry, let me just start even above, right? Like one, clearly portfolio, like you have your website, show off that. GitHub, if there's something good, show off that, right? And then LinkedIn profile, like all of them are clickable. You can click on it. So I know it might feel like this is not so good. Like, I mean, why are we talking about? It is actually very important, because when a recruiter, so if I'm a hiring manager, I'm gonna tell recruiter I need 5 interns for my team. Send me resumes. When she sends me resume, and if there's something clickable, I'm gonna click, because I want to see if it's work. When I click on it, I'm gonna be surprised. There's a surprise and a delight. Like I'm gonna be delighted because he has done all this work. So again, from I'm speaking from hiring manager perspective, that these things are very important. So use it, and you have done it. I know you didn't mention it, but I wanted to call it out.
let me show you how these keywords, how these technological keywords are very important. First, because these will help you get shortlisted from the ATS, the whole automated shortlisting.
It's
Uh,
called application tracking system, but yes, yeah, yeah,
Exactly. So it will help you get shortlisted through the ATS, bypass it, and then actually people can look at your resume. And
yeah.
the best way that I found about how to get the right keywords is, go to different job applications on LinkedIn or wherever, and start to copy all the all the skills they are requiring, right? And start pasting these in this word cloud generator. You'll find hundreds of them online. And then what this does is it will cluster all the commonly used words. So just to for demo purposes, let me show you what I'm talking about. So this means that React is being used the most times, which means it's a popular skill, and it might be the right thing to be on your resume, right? So copy like 50 or whatever, 20, 30 different job descriptions, and see what kind of skills are most in demand, and what keywords are they looking for in the job description. And then you can straight away translate them. Coming back to my resume, you can straight up bring them here, and tada, that's the whole magic.
Hmm. But the only thing I would say is make sure whatever you put it there, you know that you can speak to it, right? Like if you put like graph, there was something like graph.
GraphQL.
Yeah, if you put GraphQL and I'm like, as a hiring manager, I'm gonna try to ask you, hey, so looks like you also know a little bit about GraphQL. Can you speak like what you've done? And if then you draw blank, then I'm like, okay, now you lost all the credibility you've built so far, because it's like everything might be a lie. So
That's 100% true. You be honest with it. That's And I think this again translates to the fact that you need to make projects. You put in the work, and when you've put in the work, only then can you talk about all these advancements, all these fancy techniques and stuff like that. It only works when you know what you're talking about. That's
mm,
100% true. I 100% agree with that.
nice, cool.
Right. And then I want to get into the whole experience thing.
Mm,
If you have related experience to the job, it means more than anything else on your resume. If you
mm,
have related experience. So I've seen a lot of debate online that goes about whether to keep your education first or experience first. So I'm a big believer of keeping your experience first. And the only cases where I do feel that you can put your education to the top is when it is exceptional, right?
mm,
if you're from if you're done from Harvard or wherever, whichever are the best universities, if you have something to, that is eye catching, definitely go for it. If not, then show that you have the exact skills the recruiter is looking for, right? So
mm,
pe- recruiters are hiring someone who can solve a particular problem in their company. And if you have solved a similar problem for some other organization, you are the right person. They are going to hire you. So you just need to show that to them. And that
yes,
would the best way to show that is having related experience. And
yes.
one very good point here is I have actually real life examples which I've taken from a random resume I found on. I randomly went on a LinkedIn profile and opened the resume and copied this. So this
Mm,
says accomplished data cleaning, data processing, data visualization using Python libraries on data sets of on data sets of company to build an overall data analysis report for the data sets. It means nothing to me, at least.
right.
Rather, if you used create and collaborated with a team of 9 and enriched existing system metrics by 17%, increased annual projected annual revenue by 1.3 million by implementing optimized business logic through code, this has more weightage to me.
Yeah.
It's
And to me as a hiring manager as well, because it shows the impact you've created. It shows what that you can work with the team. It shows you think about the metrics. So yes, the other one is just words, like has no meaning. Again, like you said, no meanings to it. Yes, there is a lot of keywords: data cleaning, data pre-processing, data visualization, Python, data analyst, data set. There's like 5 6 keywords in the not this part, but the other one has a impact, quantifiable impact, which is more valuable to me.
Exactly. And I don't think I have to add on to that because he has framed it perfectly. So that is exactly what I wanted to share here. And when I copied it from a random person on LinkedIn, which means it is pretty rampant, it is everywhere.
Yeah,
Just use
right.
this. Just
Yeah.
and one additional point I have here is that look at other people's resume.
Mm,
Take things from them.
yeah.
You I didn't know how to write this. I didn't know how to structure it. When I looked at people, i I learned. Look at my resume, take the direct thing if you want and change it for your project, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be smart with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to pick up things from other
Yeah.
people who have
Yeah,
already
and there is a template which you have in your bullet point as well. Like I developed X, which helped Y, rose the efficiency by so and so, reducing so and so, revenue by so and so. Yeah, so that's like the format I've also recently shared on my Instagram. So very very close to this.
honestly, I made my resume, and since it's a small format, like there will be mistakes. I can spot a few mistakes right now if I try to have a look closely. So these resume worded, VMark, these are the tools which will give you an edge. They'll try help you fix things. So especially VMark, ASU had a free trial, so I used it. I think it's paid, but I had a free trial. It helped me, find words like his, her. You shouldn't be
Mhm.
having those words in your resume. So
Mhm.
it helped me, him, them, they. These words shouldn't be there. So it helped me remove all those words, fix my, wording. And resume worded, I think it really helps you bypass the ATS because
Mhm.
it, it gives you a score, and its algorithm is similar to what an ATS would have. So if you're faring well here, I think you should be good with the ATS too, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
whenever you make changes, try to run it through Resume Worded. It's free, I think, for the at least getting your score. It's free, and then making changes, I think that's behind a paywall. But and I would say 80 plus. Try to score 80 plus as a score,
Mhm.
rough estimate.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
this and JobScan is similar to all of these tools, but definitely use them. And then ChatGPT is another big one. It will You can literally go take this, go to ChatGPT and be like, can you rephrase it? Or you can take whatever points you have currently, like this one, and go like, can you make it more structured? Right? You can use ChatGPT for a lot of things now. So be
Mhm.
smart with it, use the tools, and it should really help you.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. I love it. Cool.
And then projects, as I said, host them, have links. People can literally go to Amigos through my resume, right? That's instant impact. They can see that I've actually made the things I'm talking about here.
All right, I'm going to stop the video right here because as you can see, the length of the video is already pretty long. And there's another 40 minutes of like gold wisdom because this part we covered how to build your resume, profile, portfolio, thinking, mindset, and how to get ready for it. In the next part, we're going to talk about interview process, how to get interview calls, how to prepare for those interviews, and how to crack those interviews. Stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't already, so that way you get notified when the next part gets uploaded. And also, if you enjoyed this video, I'm pretty sure you will want to watch this video, which is how to crack any interview calls. There's a secret sauce in it, so consider watching this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep smiling and keep hustling. Gotta hustle every single day.